When I first heard about No Man's Sky, I was excited. It was a chance to explore a vast universe with almost endless possibility. But has it lived up to the hype and high expectations we put on it? Find out right now in today's Storm Report. The story of No Man's Sky, if you can even call it that, is a simple one. You're given an incredibly vague mission by the Atlas, this universal being or entity, and told to follow its path to the center of the universe. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Sure, along the way you meet different aliens and things can happen, but it just feels like you're being led along like a rabbit with a stick and a carrot, with promises of enlightenment and amazing discovery waiting for you. But that's the problem. It never evolves from that. The entire way, even when you come across your first Atlas station, which is basically the equivalent of like a major checkpoint, the only information you are given by the Atlas stationed there is whether or not you will continue on the path of the Atlas. It's just a simple yes or no question. Like, that's it. I mean, I realize the major point of the game is to discover our own story and have our own adventure, but if you're going to put a story or some sort of objective inside the game, at least make it interesting. Don't just keep dragging us along by the nose. With all that being said, considering the fact that one of the major points of No Man's Sky is to forge your own story, I can't dock it completely on the story that we are presented with. As such, I give the story a 3 out of 10. If I was solely scoring on what we were given, it would be a flat 1, an absolutely fucking terrible score. The gameplay of No Man's Sky, well, it's only slightly better. The combat and targeting is fine, but it really doesn't stand out. And don't even get me started on the flight controls. It's some of the most awkward and difficult controls I could ever imagine. Good luck playing this on PC without a controller, and even then, it's still awkward. From what we were told, one of the best things in No Man's Sky was going to be the space and planet exploration, but they even fucked that up. Sure, for the first few hours, it's amazing, it's all new and interesting, but it quickly devolves from that. Eventually it all just ends up feeling the same. Not because visually the planets are the same, because there is enough variety to keep each feeling relatively unique, but how you actually go about exploring each planet devolves into just horrid repetition. It's literally this: mine a few rocks, search a few buildings, maybe talk to an alien you happen to find, maybe scan a few flora and fauna, rinse and repeat. I mean, sure, you could argue that there's a bit more to it, such as like space pirates and other random events you may come across, but these happen way too infrequently to really break up the absolute monotony of it all. Crafting in No Man's Sky is fine. It's definitely not the greatest, as you will continually find yourself running out of a material you may have needed for another recipe. The excess overlap of crafting materials almost makes it look lazy. It's like they got a set number of materials and then just figured out all the different combinations they could put them in. Even the inventory system isn't great. With all the upgrades taking up inventory slots, it almost feels like a lazy attempt to make the game more difficult. As you get more upgrades, more inventory space is taken up. But if you don't get the upgrades, then you end up being underpowered. I mean, I understand their intent to force us to consider options and be smarter about our decisions, but it just ends up feeling really annoying and more of a bother than anything else. Even the management of all your different systems feels horrible. You're forced to continually harvest more materials to keep recharging them. You literally have to recharge every piece of equipment you own, meaning you have to always keep some of your materials stored to have ready for recharging. But you can't stock up because half of your inventory space is taken up by upgrades. So you're forced to continually harvest materials, never able to take more than what you barely need, because you don't have the space, because too many upgrades, and it just goes on and on from there, forcing us to continually do these remedial tasks just to survive. You see what I'm getting at here? It's just a vicious cycle. With all this said though, I give the gameplay a 5 out of 10, a completely average score. The graphics of No Man's Sky are probably its most impressive part. Not that it's necessarily a graphically detailed game, because it's not. The textures are relatively simple, but some of the views in No Man's Sky as you're looking out from the surface of a planet or flying through space can be really jaw-dropping. The graphics can look really awesome sometimes and do lend well to the unique aesthetics of No Man's Sky, but it's nothing to marvel over. For the graphics, they get a 7 out of 10. My overall thoughts on No Man's Sky is that it feels terribly unfinished. All of what constitutes as survival is simply having the materials to continually recharge your gear. There's little challenge to it, almost none really. And Hello Games has refused to take a huge opportunity with not adding multiplayer. If they had just implemented it and allowed players to interact with their friends, then I truly believe this game would not have turned out nearly as bad as it has. Imagine if Minecraft didn't have multiplayer. Would it be as successful as it is today? Hell no, not even close. It would have had its brief surge of popularity, sure, but then it would have died off just as quick. Even with all the updates and stuff they've added like today, if it were released today, with all the updates and everything they've added, but no multiplayer, it would have its brief surge of popularity and then drop off like a rock. I honestly truly believe this was the final nail in the coffin for No Man's Sky. Everything else can be added later in patches, but refusing players to play with their friends in a universe that lends itself absolutely perfectly to it, they shot themselves in the foot with this one. What makes it even worse is I saw a post earlier today where someone actually was able to fully upgrade their character, literally all their gear, their ship, everything, without even leaving their starting planet. Really? What's the point then? You fucked it up, Hello Games, and you know it. No wonder they were so reluctant to release details about their game. They knew it wasn't finished, instead relying on a gamer's imagination to soar the game into heights it never hoped to achieve. This is the biggest disappointment I can think of in recent memory. The final verdict for No Man's Sky is a 5 out of 10, an average game. But with this review, I'm making a slight adjustment, because I think that's being generous. My own verdict for No Man's Sky is a 4 out of 10, below average. I thank you all for listening. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to see more quality content, let me know down below your thoughts on No Man's Sky. I'll see you next time, and as always, have a good day.